Hello and welcome to another podcast session of my Sanity Spot, and I'm very excited today to have Wendy Cree from Abrielle Limited, who is also a virtual assistant. So welcome, Wendy.
Hi Alison, thank you, and how are you?
I'm good, all's good, all's good. And I thought tonight we're going to talk a little bit about planning and to encourage people to be better organised. I suppose I thought I'd speak to you, who has a lot of strings to your bows.
Yes.
A lot of strings. Maybe that is actually very apt, and you will explain why in a little while. But do you want to tell us first of all about what you do and your business and how you got started being a virtual assistant as well?
Well, I'm a virtual assistant. I offer executive assistant services to busy MDs and business owners. The name of my company is Abrielle Limited, as you said earlier, and really it was founded just really the September last year. Although I spent about 3 or 4 months sort of getting it set up legally and that type of thing, because it's a limited company.
Mm-hmm.
I decided the reason I was in full-time employment for probably about 25 years, and I had did different things. Most of that time was in some sort of administrator, and then the last 13 have been as an executive assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I was working for a large corporate when I decided that I would take voluntary redundancy, because I found my own job in that particular environment was being really restricted,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't able to function the way that I felt I was being of most value to the company, really. My hands were tied, basically, so I thought I really needed to make a change. And during that time, I thought I really love the idea of the virtual assistant, being able to have more flexibility with my time, and but I would still be able to help people, which is a big thing of mine. That's what makes me tick, really. So anyway, so I decided to set up my business. So the beginning of this year, really, then I started going out in the marketplace and sort of trying to network and things like that, and I had a few customers, which is great. And in order to sort of subsidize that while I was setting it up, I thought I would go for a temporary job as well. So I've been in the bar library, but as well as doing some work, virtual assistant work as well.
So you've been super busy.
Super busy, yes, which is good. I like to be super busy. I thrive on that, really. So it's the best response, really, from me whenever I'm super busy.
Yeah. And I know that you have 2 sons as well. What age are they now?
Yeah, they keep me super busy as well. and they're grown, so they're
not even babies.
I know. One of them's he's 21 and he's in the States at the moment on a soccer scholarship. So yes, I'm making time to phone him at all sorts of weird hours. It's usually about midnight of a night. Yes, timing him to keep up with him and everything that he's doing. I'm hoping to go out next year to see him graduate. And then the younger son is 16, so he's in lower sixth doing his A-levels. So that's bringing another lot of
stress. That's stress for you, never mind him.
And driving lessons shortly as well. So
lovely.
Very interesting.
My mum refused to take me out in the car. I used to do them in school. Someone used to come at lunchtime in school. We had in upper sixth at one stage.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it was funny. But I also know, so you have the business. You're working sort of full time in a business. You've got the the other hours outside of that as a virtual assistant, you're a mum, and you're also the chairperson of Harden Tennis Club as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's a small tennis club in East Belfast, and we have 3 tennis courts, polymeric tennis courts there. Been there for it'll be 100 years in 2025. So it's quite an old club, really. It's my parents and my grandparents both played at it as well. So I've always been involved in some way or another with the committee there, and I've been chairman now 3 years. So and at the moment we're really trying to upgrade everything, and we have a great committee now, which is fantastic. It makes a big difference when you're chair and you have a strong committee that you can really rely on. And we have a fabulous new coach as well, who has brought in a lot of new players. So we've been working closely with him as well. So it's been, I would say, the work with that committee has ramped up in the last year or so. The first year we it was a brand new committee. All of us were brand new into it, so we didn't really know what we were doing. So we had to learn on fast. And then so the second year was kind of, okay, so now we vaguely know what we're doing, and we're trying to then actually do stuff as well. You know what I mean? Push things on a bit. And then so this third year has really been the year when we've found our feet. And we really know what we're doing, and now we're really trying to take everything another leap forward.
So, and did you find, like, I was the chairperson of Toastmasters in Lagan Valley Toastmasters a few years ago, and do you find when you're the chairperson like that, like, do you actually find it hard to delegate tasks as well? Because I know I find that really hard at the start.
It's
I wasn't used to it.
I would agree with you at the start. It's very difficult because you kind of think, oh, maybe I should be doing that. Maybe I should be doing that. Oh, I should really be doing that. You know, and that's not the job of the chair. The chair is really to steer in the direction and drive people in the direction and make sure that people are working to their strengths, really. The right people are doing the right jobs and things like that. And also then to help out where this is my opinion of the chair, but to help out in those situations where somebody is having difficulties or whatever, to lend a hand and get involved in it. Not necessarily to push decisions through. I think it's up to the committee really to do that. To themselves to discuss it and push the decisions. But
do you find, because I find when you talk about it like that, and in my own experience, that actually there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn there between being the chairperson of the committee and actually us as virtual assistants helping small business owners, because as a small business owner, it's the same thing. You have to delegate some of the tasks out to have that kind of helicopter view and to have the strategic view. And if you don't do that and you're trying to do everything at once, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Delegation, definitely. I mean, some people laugh and say, oh, did you delegate that? But actually, if you delegate the right task to the right person, it's the right move. Basically. So, whereas it's not the right thing not to delegate and just take everything on, because you can't do it. You end up, and everything can suffer because of that, which is very dangerous and of no use to anybody, particularly yourself.
And this is what this podcast is a bit about as well. It's about sort of finding that sanity spot in your life and learning how to say no to things, which is, the other point of that. And like, do you find it hard to say no with all the different responsibilities that you have?
No, not as much now as
No, you don't.
No, actually, not as much, I would say, as I used to. I used to just say, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. And I couldn't do it all. I really couldn't. And so, whereas now, I think just with experience and years behind me, I think you start to realize what you're capable of and what you need to say, actually, no, but could such and such do it? They would be better to do it, because generally they would be. So I think you definitely shouldn't be afraid to say no, but people are. I think people genuinely are in this sort of world that we live in. People are constantly afraid of saying no to things because they feel like, what does that mean? If I say no, they're going to think and they're not going to give me that again
Yeah.
then because they said no. But it's about playing to your strengths.
It is.
As well. So if you are quite clear about what you do and what you don't do, then that you generally find you're having to say no less as well.
Yes.
Because they're not do the things that, so but yeah, no, I would be much better now at it because my mental health has suffered in the past because of it. Maybe I would say 15-20 years ago, and so I've recognized myself that when that point comes and it has to go right, enough here, I need to go and find my sanity spot, as you would say. And it's really, really important to do that because I have found it. I've actually discovered after a long, long time, believe it or not, that if I don't sleep terribly well one night and I really, really can't concentrate properly the next day, or I'm just feeling exhausted, that I actually must go to bed early the next day. And I found that is one of my sanity spots, believe it or not. It's just, and it sounds so simple. It sounds ridiculous. Why did it take you so long to realize that? But I think we get on a treadmill and we forget, just keep going, and then it's like, why am I so tired? And then you're thinking, actually, I haven't really slept well. So making a conscious effort to go to bed early night and just getting loads of Z's is as good as anything. I notice I wake up the next day and back on form again.
Yes, I mean, you need the time. You totally need the time to recharge, don't you? And,
totally. I mean, it's definitely worth taking that time, and it's not a lot of time in the great scheme of things.
No.
If you don't take it out, then you're working at half pace.
Yes.
For the rest of the week or whatever, and when you could be working at full pace.
Yeah.
For just by taking that time out with it, I also like my tennis weekends. So if I go for weekends with different tournaments and things like that, it's generally sort of down south somewhere, so I feel like I'm away and out of things, and it gives my brain a complete refresh. And as I say, going out onto the tennis court's brilliant. Any form of exercise, we had a great walk from boat club on Sunday morning. About 9 of us, 9 girls, walked from boat club to St George's Market in the centre of Belfast. Breakfast and come back. So we now are trying to do those sort of Sunday morning walks every now and again. Brilliant. Again, exercise, therapy with your friends, out for something to eat, very social. You can take it all in 2 or 3 hours.
Exactly. Because I still do. I obviously go swimming quite a lot outside, and that is as much a social thing as the swimming. I love being in the water, and I'm like you. Like, you have to have your time in the tennis court. I have to be in the water at some stage during the week. And if you don't get that, you get a bit antsy, don't you?
No, totally. But I mean, you're saying about the sea. I went in once. I mean, as I was saying, in Ballycastle, my holidays this year, and I was amazed at the bus that I got coming out of the sea in the morning. I was up for doing anything that day. I had so much energy. It's incredible.
It does. It is incredible.
I would definitely do it again. Definitely. You never know.
You might join the lovely Dunkers. Excellent.
Brilliant.
I'm actually doing. I'm offering an online course, and sort of efficiency and planning is part of that course. Because if you have to plan, don't you? You have to know what is in your week ahead and plan everything out to actually be able to cope, don't you?
Yeah, you do, absolutely. And I mean, in work at the moment, I would be sitting on a Friday afternoon, looking at the week ahead, looking at, meetings that are taking place for my boss and things like that, just to try and see where there are times that he can fit in any work that he needs to do, and when I need to see him to catch up with things that he needs to do. It's so important to do that forward planning, because if you don't, you're just living on the hoof then, really, and that's when you miss things.
And
very much.
That's important for your life as well. Never mind you in work, also for yourself. You need to know, okay, this is what I've got on next week, work-wise and tennis-wise, and
exactly.
the boys.
The boys, as I say, can figure in Ben's fine. There's not too much else going on at midnight, so when I can here, that's pretty good. He's factored in okay. Josh, my younger son, he plays an awful lot of hockey. So he trains on Mondays and Wednesdays. He has 2 matches on a Saturday and maybe 1 on a Sunday.
Okay.
So everything has to be factored in around that as well. So, I have elderly parents as well that my sister and I look after. So maybe I will drop him. For example, I have it planned out. I will drop him at training at 7 o'clock, and I will go straight to their house and spend maybe an hour and a half or so with them, and then back again to get him and bring him home and get him sorted for the next day. So it's a case of trying to work everything in. It's the same as meetings. The tennis club will make sure on a Wednesday night, if that's happening, that when I drop him off, that I have already worked it out and got it sorted if I need somebody to pick him up. That's all factored in the week before, because disaster if it isn't.
Otherwise,
So
excellent.
You do have to be
on the ball.
Yes.
on the tennis ball.
Yes, the balls do get dropped every now and again. At your best not to. But as I say, that's why the forward planning goes on, because the best will in the world is somebody will phone and say they're sick and they can't do something. So
exactly.
Then you have to regroup.
Yes, plan B.
The trick is not to panic, laugh a lot, and get on with it.
Exactly.
I always say, did anybody die? And if the answer's no, then it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. That's my philosophy.
It's not an urgency. It's not an urgency unless they're dead.
Right, exactly. If you want to stop panicking, that is the thing that stops you panicking.
Excellent. And if you had to give one last piece of advice to someone in business, what would it be?
So, as a startup person, or just generally anyone?
Yes, because you are you're not alone. Started up, yes. So as a startup, what would you say? What would your one piece of advice be?
I would say, remember yourself and all of this as well, because when you start up in business, you're obviously loving what you do, and you can get totally carried away with it naturally because you love what you're doing, and you can end up doing that 24 hours a day, which is lovely but not feasible. So in order that you don't get burnt out and you end up hating what you're doing, it's advisable to plan just like you would be planning your work. Plan those times for yourself whenever you're going to take down time and time away, and then your brain, you come back, everything is refreshed and ready to go again, and you get more done than you would if you weren't taking any breaks at all, because you can't work at full power at that stage. So that would be my advice. Just remember yourself in it, because you're the one that started this business, and without you, it can't function.
No, that's very well said. Very well said indeed. And if people want to find you, what is the best way for them to contact you?
They can contact me by email. It's wendy.cree@ambrielltd.com. Or they can ring me on my mobile, which is 07825 146 346.
Excellent. And you have the Facebook page as well, don't you?
I have my Facebook page, and I'm on LinkedIn as well, and I'm on Instagram and Twitter.
Excellent. All I covered. All I covered. And if there's we've lots of tennis puns in there.
Strings to bows,
Car.
dropping balls.
And if anybody wants to see me and Wendy in person, we will be swooshing our capes because we are part of the VA Heroes Collective along with Ellie McBride and Gail Alexander. And we have a couple of workshops coming up within the next few months now. November in Newton Ards, January in Newry at the Hub, and March in the Hive in Macrofelt. So we're covering all the sort of all the cool places, aren't we? Really, we're going to be in all the this.
I mean, what else would you expect? Yeah.
What else would you expect? What else would you expect? So there you go.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, actually. So
yes, it'll be really good. It'll be really good.
Back on the road again.
It will. Mm-hmm. But there you go. And you'll have to bring your tennis racket too.
Absolutely. You know, fresh from the court.
Fresh from the court. Excellent. Excellent.
I think there are courts in Newton Ards. Actually, there's a dome there. Inside.
There you go. You can try that when you're there. You can try.
You're not coming to try too, no?
No, I mean, we've come and support you. Well, we can be the umpires or something.
Have to find somebody to play.
Yeah. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking part in the Sanity Spot podcast.
Thank you.
We'll see each other very soon.
Yes, we will indeed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Bye.